effective defending, when you've been pinned in the back, you might not be able to lift. You might only have one shot available. If you've got one shot available, tends to be the boast. You know, we have to whip that ball around, and you know what? Let's put those eggs in one basket and see what happens. So there's some really cool videos here of some of the pros doing it. And if we think about what I said at the start about soak, diffuse, reverse, pretty much it does all three of those things in one shot. You've got to the ball, there's not many options. You know what? You're going to line it up, you're going to whip it around. You not only reverse the rally, you pretty much go for the winner. What I like about the videos as well when you watch them is as soon as the players play them, the movement is hard up to the tee. You know, the player gets in position and they line it up, and then they whip that boast round and they're pushing up. So even if their opponent gets there at the stretch and pops it up, they're coming in and they're going to win the next shot. So I definitely think you want to link your hard movement to the tee with the shot. Because of that, I think it'll help the shot itself. It's definitely a shot you've got to commit quite a bit to. You know, your body's got to commit to it. You've got to be able to whip your racket head round, because essentially you're looking for the three-wall boast. And it's a shot at, you know, I used to try practice it a lot, and it used to wind people up when I just used to whip it around and it would catch the nick, you know, 6, maybe 7 times out of 10. And it would be so frustrating, and they would look at you like, oh, such a fluke, so lucky. And I would just laugh and smile because I knew deep down I'd actually practiced it a little bit, and it was a shot that was more calculated. So in regard to execution, got to be low, got to be hard, got to be fully committed. Once you're in this position here, and I'm just going to throw a few off the back and show you what I mean with it. It's very much 45 degrees. And what I mean by 45 degrees is I think I'm pretty much facing the back. You know, it definitely doesn't feel like a shot that I want to be side on and opening up. It doesn't feel like it gets the meat and the pace and the speed to go around into the nick. So you want to set up relatively aggressive here. And when you're committing to it, you're really trying to commit into that side wall pretty hard. You know, and it's a roughly 45-degree angle back into the wall. So the best angle I can give you, or the best analogy, is you want to think of your neighbor's courts, and you want to point to the opposite corner of that court, the opposite front corner. So if I'm here, the opposite right corner of that court is about, if I'm visualizing it, it's about there. So if I aim my bows close here, quite close to me, but fast and hard, it travels around and it rolls into the nick. And you know you're doing it pretty well if it's starting to roll back to you. Oh, just missed the nick. But that was really fast and hard and round. With a hot ball, I think that would have found it. Backhand the same. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to go, there we go. And I'm going to really commit hard into that territory. Again. Yes, just nailed it there. Low and hard, pulling it across. And I'd be quite confident if I threw that in a game, that's going to cause a bit of issues for my opponent if that's the only shot I had. You know, it's maybe a little bit better than trying to hit it out or playing a 2-wall boast. Look, it puts all your chips on the table and you go, I'm all in. What have you got? So it has got a risk element to that, but when it's honed, it can become really effective. I don't know if you noticed what I was doing with my follow through there as well. I kind of got in here and I'm not releasing up there. I'm very much bunting it and leaving it flat and punching that ball in low. So if you watch that forehand, I really kind of leave it low. Just missed the nick again, but I was quite close. But the idea where I'm really going in there and punching it through, super, super effective. So I think the body and the shape and the commitment to your angle needs to be really, really well put in. You definitely want to be using your knees and your hips and your rotation and committing hard. But like I said at the start, I think the idea about then pushing up hard is really effective. So if you just miss the nick and it just sits up a little bit, man, at least you've got a position here where you're going, well, they're under a bit of pressure. Can I now deal with stuff from that? So I really enjoy watching the videos, the PSA examples of these, because there's some really beautiful shots, and the way the rally just gets put straight back on the opponent and is super frustrating for it. So enjoy thinking about effective defending in this way, about an effective boast. It's risky, but it's a 3-wall attacking style boast. Put those chips on the table and go, are you good enough to handle this?